Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We continue our conversation now with New Jersey Speaker of the Assembly, Craig Coughlin. I want to talk a little bit about legalized marijuana because it seems like it's been a big issue, especially ever since the governor's campaign. At the time when they first started talking about it, and you just became Speaker, it seemed like, at least in the reports that I read, you were the holdup. You really wanted to put the brakes on that until you could study it. Now it seems you're ready to go. Is that fair?
Well, it's fair to say that I now have I've come to believe that legalizing adult use of medical or of marijuana is appropriate. The current system doesn't work, doesn't prevent people from using marijuana, and B has resulted in a great level of social injustice for people of color.
Is that the main reason? Everybody brings that up,
well,
and it seems like
true.
But it seems that there's this economic part of it about.
Well, there certainly is an economic part of it, but the overarching principles, the thing that led me to believe that, I'm not satisfied with the status quo, and so if people don't want to try to somehow address that, then they have to tell me they're in favor of the way we're doing it right now, which results in thousands of arrests every year, people who have their lives and their careers impacted for a relatively small amount of personal use marijuana. That's on a schedule, by the way, with heroin and above cocaine on the substance schedule, and leaves people of color, particularly, you're 3 times more likely to get arrested if you're a person of color in this state. That's not right.
Let's talk about New Jersey Transit for a moment, because they recently had an audit, and you released a statement about giving some money to New Jersey Transit and how that money should be spent. You talked about not only leadership, but infrastructure. And I think when people see those two things, that's where the money's going to go, they get some concern. Will the money go to fixing the tracks and to infrastructure, or is the money going to go to leadership?
Well, I think you can do both. But I think look, here's where it's become apparent as I look through the audit that there were systemic failures here in terms of organization, in terms of structure, in terms of leadership, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of personnel. And when I say personnel, I don't necessarily mean people who make $500,000 a year. I mean we need to get engineers on board. We need to do it soon. So that's something that we ought to spend some money on. So we should commit the money to spend that. Let's get that done first. Let's spend money on the tracks because and bridges and signals and the infrastructure things.
And who's going to have oversight? Because I think that the audit showed that nobody was really nobody was running the place. I mean, it seemed like it was falling apart.
We have new leadership, right? We have a new commissioner of transportation. We have a new director.
Does this be oversight over them, though?
Well, no. I mean, I think that those people ought to be in charge of making sure that we get this done right. That because somebody who didn't do their job well last time doesn't mean we need to create a whole new structure, right? Let's put people in place who can get this done.
One last question. It's about your hunger initiative for the state. You must have started this initiative because you saw a real problem.
I did, and I think it's one that we all can see. And Larry, let me tell you, the thing that struck it home for me, I went to, in Perth Amboy, they had opened a new St. Vincent de Paul food pantry. And I had gone to it. It was a nice new facility, went to the ribbon cutting. And when I came out, there was a line of people around the side of the building and down and around. And it was a line that was just too long. And hunger doesn't know any kind of stripes. It doesn't know political stripes. It doesn't know ethnic stripes. It doesn't know racial stripes. It doesn't know religious stripes. It just exists. And I believe that if we want to call ourselves a great state, then one of the things we have to do is make sure that people have food to eat. It's incredibly basic. And the truth of the matter is, lots of people believe that as well. Since I've brought some attention to the issue, I can't tell you how many people have contacted me to talk about what they're doing. We may need to do it in a little bit more coordinated measure. And one of the things we're going to do in the legislation, which I'm confident will pass with great bipartisan support, it will be to create a registry so folks can understand where they can go, because all food pantries aren't open, for example, every day. They don't have the wherewithal to provide that kind of service. But people are hungry every day. Students are hungry on weekends and in the summer. So we've already done some legislation to help out with that. We're going to do
This
more.
will be a continuing effort?
It's going to be a continuing effort because the battles, it's not going to end, sadly, right? I mean, I wish we'd get to the day when everybody had all they needed to eat. But until that day, we've got work to do.
Wonderful, sir.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much.
Nice to be here.
Speaker of the New Jersey Assembly, Craig Coughlin. Jersey Matters continues right after this.